everybody, and welcome to Photomikes Garage. Okay, I think you can tell by the smile on my face that I am driving my Hellcat, Barney the Hellcat today, 2016 Hellcat Charger. It's a beautiful day, but today I'm actually going to talk about the things I hate about my Hellcat Charger. Hate, yes, hate. Okay, so saying 5 things I hate about this car seems kind of harsh because this is a Hellcat. You know, how could I hate a Hellcat? But these things I really do hate. I hate them. And here we go. Number 1 is the fuel economy. The fuel economy is terrible. Okay, of course, with a Hellcat, you can't expect to have good fuel economy, but with the rising gas prices that we have right now, it's something to consider, and I hate it. As you can see, the miles per gallon is 13.8 for me. And according to Dodge, I should be getting 15 in a combined city and highway setting, and I'm definitely not getting that. And it's possible to get 21, although I've seen 24 on the highway occasionally. When you put it in eco mode, yes, the Charger has eco mode. So the gas mileage in general, not good. Okay, that's a bear. Just making a video with my Barney the Hellcat, and look who showed up. A bear. Yes, he's just sort of hanging out. And let's see, we'll zoom in. There he is. He's just hanging out. Okay, number 2 is the parts prices are ridiculously expensive for this car. It's something to think about before you buy a Hellcat. And I know what you're saying. You're saying it's just a Dodge Charger. And sure, a lot of parts are not expensive, but the special bits of a Hellcat, they are expensive. Let me show you. There she is. 2.3 liter supercharger that makes the Hellcat a Hellcat. If something goes wrong with your supercharger, perhaps it needs to be rebuilt, you have to get a new one. That's $9,000. US dollars. $9,000. That's a lot of money. Now, of course, if you're still in warranty, that's great. But some of these cars, some of these Hellcats, going to be out of warranty, and $9,000. Okay, so one of the great things about a Hellcat is the brakes. It's not just about going fast, it's about incredible stopping power. It has giant discs, Brembo 6-piston brakes on the front, and Brembo 4-piston brakes on the back. A lot of cars don't have the Brembos on the back. They have them on the front like the AMG, not on the back. Hellcat, front and back. However, they're expensive. These discs are 2-piece rotors, and they're expensive. To replace all the rotors on a Hellcat, if you warp them at the track or whatever, will cost you $2,500. That's right, $2,500 US dollars. And right behind the wheels and the brakes are the dampeners. Now on the Hellcat, they have active dampeners. A lot of modern cars do. You have a track setting, you've got a sports setting, and you have a street setting. And you can really tell the difference between each of those settings. The track is quite stiff. Street, it's very comfortable. That's great, but what if the dampeners fail? Well, these active dampeners are not the same as just buying a regular shock at your Pep Boys. This is going to cost you some money. $6,000 for all 4 dampeners. $6,000 from the Dodge dealership for the dampeners. Unbelievable. Okay, so I had to go back in the car because it's so darn hot outside right now. We've definitely got a heat wave happening in Vancouver. And it's good to be inside because I want to talk about how cheap this car looks on the inside. You've got cheap plastic everywhere. Everything's very serviceable, but the cheapness does not go with the price of this car. This car was $92,000. That's Canadian, of course. So this car was $92,000 Canadian dollars, Canadian, so it'd be less than American, but $92,000 and it has practically every feature you could get. Sunroof, everything. But it's got cheap plastic everywhere. It's not good. And that's my gripe here, is that it looks like a cheaper Dodge Charger that you could get at the airport as a rental. There's not much difference at all. Cheap plastic, nothing there. Not even fake stitching, nothing. And you do have sort of engine turn panels here and here, but it's all just plastic. Nothing is of a higher quality. So the way it's put together. Also, quality control is not the best. I don't know if you can see right here. There's a gap where you can see the painted body. That shouldn't be like that. See? That shouldn't be like that. Not on a car this expensive. Look at the door sills. Hard plastic. No comfort there if you're gonna put your elbow out. That's not good. Cheap interior. For $92,000, I expect a lot more. Now, of course, I didn't pay no $92,000 for this car, but all the same, it was $92,000, and Dodge, you can do better. Number 4, things that I don't like. The car is too big. This car has what I call a Cheetos problem. Somebody ate too much Cheetos, and this car has gotten fatter and fatter and fatter. So this is a fat, heavy car. So a Dodge Charger Hellcat like this weighs over 4,500 pounds. That is so big, that is so heavy, that it needs this tremendous motor just to get it to go as fast as it does. And when you're in a straight line, it feels light actually, but it is a very heavy and big car. You might hear some gunshots in the background. They're not firing at us, don't worry. That's a rifle range just up the road. Nothing to worry about, I don't think. As a matter of fact, to get the whole car in the frame, we had to go back 30 feet. That's how big this car is. Okay, so the Hellcat's heavy, and you can feel that when you drive it on curvy roads, which is a major problem. It's just not going to be a good handling car no matter what you do. Dodge has done the best. The Charger does handle, just not very well. Number 5 things that I hate about my Hellcat, and this is actually one of the more serious ones, and this is the steering of the car. Not the steering wheel is okay. I'm talking about the way the car feels when it's steering. It's basically, the power steering cannot keep up with the effort of turning the car. At times you can overpower your power steering, and then it's almost like you're driving manual steering. At the very limit, when I'm trying to turn, I'm fighting it to get to the last little bit. I'm fighting it right here. I don't like that. I don't like that. Like, I know you're supposed to be a heavier steering for sport cars, but I don't think so. I think that you can have lighter steering and still have great feel. And of course, there is no feel at all in the steering at all. I feel disconnected from the front tires while I'm driving. I know people say that the Hellcat can handle it, can go around curves. It's not like an old 1960s wallowing barge wagon. They have done the best they can, but the car's heavy, the steering is numb. I don't feel connected to the road. I cannot feel road imperfections. And on top of that, the car wanders. A big car on the highway, you hit a rut and it will go. It will go with the rut. I don't know why it does that. I don't like the steering in the Charger Hellcat. So those are 5 things I hate about my Hellcat, but I've got some bonus ones actually. There's even more that I'm just gonna add into the mix. And of course, one thing is that everybody mentions, the tires. They're too small. Now, these look pretty big to me. Also, they look like they're worn out. These are 275/40 ZR20s. They're from Pirelli, but I don't think much of Pirelli anymore. These tires are terrible. They are not wide enough for the power of this vehicle. Everybody says that, and that's absolutely true. And especially these all seasons. The original owner of this car bought these all seasons because he was from Alberta and he was thinking, I'm gonna drive this thing in the snow. Worst idea ever. You don't want to ever drive a Hellcat in the snow. Not with these tires especially. They are terrible in the snow, they're terrible in the wet, they're terrible in the dry. There's no traction whatsoever. They're horrible. So the P0 Nero are really zero to me. So the tires, very bad. Now, of course, you can get better tires, but why should you have to put the money out? Dodge should have performance tires with a performance vehicle with this kind of horsepower, and of course they should be wider as well. Now I know that nowadays you can buy a wide body Hellcat with larger tires, a little bit larger, but wide body Hellcats are crazy, hellishly expensive. Nuts. So why should you have to pay all the extra money just to get a slightly larger tire? Now, the other thing I want to talk about, and this is related to the interior. Remember I mentioned a cheap interior. Well, the body fitment, the quality control is not the best on these cars. Not the best, okay? So take a look at this. So you got a fairly tight gap here. Tight gap. And then it just gets wider and wider and wider. To this point, I can put my pinky finger inside the gap. At this point, not a chance. Also, look at the hood. The hood is below the fender at this point. But at this point, the hood is above the fender. See? Can you see that? It's above the front fascia. But here, below the front fascia. That's not good quality control. Come on. It's so hot today, I've got to come to a conclusion with this video. Okay, so 5 things plus bonuses that I hate about my 2016 Dodge Hellcat, which I have named Barney. Now, obviously, you can realize that I don't really hate the Hellcat overall. I hate certain things about it. Some things I'm not happy about. But overall, it's a great car. Obviously, its pros sort of conquer the cons, you might say. Now, I'm going to make another video on the 10 plus bonus things I love about the Hellcat, because there's more to love than to hate, obviously. And one thing is, just look at the way this car looks. Look at that purple color, which is just gleaming in the sun. It's so awesome. This car attracts attention wherever I go. The only thing that could get more attention would be a Lamborghini. But this car, everybody gives it the thumbs up. It's just a likable, big, dumb, fast car. Okay, so I hope I didn't make anybody too upset. I have owned this car since August 2017, so I do know some of the positives and negatives by now, and I just thought I'd put that out there. Some of my negatives are the same as other people have always put out, but a few are different. So there you go. My next video will be on the things I love about this car, and also my modification list. I have modified this car, although I think it does look fairly stock, but there's a lot of little details that have changed. I'm going to go over those details in a future video. So right now it's so hot I'm dying, so thanks for watching Photomikes Garage. I will see you next time.